In this Clash of Clans video, we are going to be teaching you the witches at Town Hall 10. Now at Town Hall 9, the witches have long been the best attack strategy, but they are sharp catching up at Town Hall 10. In the previous Clash of Clans update, there was a change which allowed you to upgrade them to level 3, and since then, their popularity has surged. There are two main methods of using them, and we're going to show you them both in this video. The first one is the Giants, Wizards and Witches. You can see this as a preview on your screen now. We will be getting to this in the second half of the video, but first I want to show you the Frozen Witch attack strategy. So we'll break down both of these to help you get the 3 stars. You're not going to want to miss it, guys. Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, let's dive into this first one. It is the Frozen Witch variation. I'll explain this attack in a bit of depth, then we'll show you one more to pull it together before moving on to the variation with the Giants. So Prince Melvin here initially uses a couple of troops, minions and some archers in order to take out these 3 buildings on either side. Now there's a reason for that. It is to give the witches access to these storages and buildings just that little bit deeper to create the funnel here. Now the reason for that is for the Frozen Witch, you need a good portion of them alongside your heroes into the center, but for the most part you will actually use the witches on the outside to create that funnel. So very similar to Town Hall 9, you will have a pack clearing out this area, a pack clearing out this area, so that your main force can come through the middle. And again, the minions just taking out them couple of buildings, look what it does to these little packs of witches. It allows them into this area to create that funnel. Otherwise, the troops that were coming straight down the middle might actually be drawn to these buildings that are a little bit deeper. So notice how the wall wrecker provides us access to that area, and the late deployment on the heroes means that this area is already cleared out as well as this area. So once this wall is open, the heroes are coming straight down into the middle of the base. Now for any Frozen Witch attack, that is your main priority initially. You've actually taken a huge amount of freeze spells. One of them you can see is already activated and there's still 6 left, so about 7 is what you want. You want 1 pack of witches taking out the outsides and creating that funnel for the main pack to come through. Now the reason you want some witches to continue on the outside here, if you can get a couple of healers in out of the way of air defense, that can help as well, is so that when your troops in the middle, they're doing just that. They are firing in the middle. They're coming through the defenses and you're focusing the fire through the defenses and through the base. The last thing you want is witches in the middle trying to shoot buildings on the outside. So that's where the witches on the outside can help with that. Now any of the freeze spells, you want to scatter them around basically, and you're trying to freeze splash damage for the witches. So you can see we've actually hit a wizard tower here, but the clan castle troops as well. Now for this base specifically, it is more the splash damage that is the main threat. As you can see, again, a good spread. As soon as we've got a pack of witches that are coming in range of a wizard tower, we're going to freeze it, but also not just the wizard tower. We're freezing the expo and the cannon here as well. Any extra damage you can get, ensure you do that. But you need to have access through the base for your wrecker. Again, look at the freeze spells in the middle. Wizard tower, expo, bomb tower, wizard bomb tower here as well. All of the splash coming through. But what I was about to say is your wrecker has to get access through the base here. If you say have a single target inferno, you might actually want to freeze that. Or maybe there's 3 expos here. Make sure you're freezing that. Or potentially the queen. Anything which is going to lock onto your wrecker and not give you access through the base, you might have to commit a freeze spell to that as well. So you're protecting either the wrecker or the witches. If you're protecting the witches, that's the main thing. Splash damage, again, look at the beautiful placement of that, getting the wizard tower and the multi. Now, you need to get access to both multi-infernos. Again, if one of them's set to single, make sure you're protecting your wrecker. But once you've got access to both multi-infernos, you've got to get them down as quick as possible. So Prince Melvin uses a rage and a heal here for the heroes and bowlers to just wipe out that area. And as we zoom out, look at this. We've actually pushed that main force through the middle. We've wiped out the core of the base and the splash damage, and we've still got the witches hooking in from either side here. Really like the implementation of these couple of loons in order to help out as well. Guys, if you are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe for all of my Clash of Clans videos. I do try and break down these strategies as simple as possible for you guys, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out either. Now in this case, this is exactly what you want. You want to have, no matter where you attack from, witches coming around either side and your main pack through the middle. That means you're not then having to walk all of the way back around to an area of the base that you missed. And again, we will show you different variations of this. Let's show you one more Frozen Witch variation before we move on to the one with the giants. A 6-pack for Prince Melvin on this one. So this is the second attack of the Frozen Witch before we move on to the variation with the giants. Now if you do want to see more examples of the Frozen Witch, I'll link a video at the end I did which focused in on that for all of the attacks. I entitled it The Best Attack Strategy at Town Hall 10, which this very much is. Massive shout out to Prince Melvin and Toxic Rabbits as well. All of the attacks you will see in this video are from their CWL Rising matchup. Didn't get the victory, but if you're interested in joining us maxed out players because we compete at that highest level, be sure to join my Discord server and you will see what you need. Now this base design is similar in that of a diamond base. Prince Melvin comes at it very similar, but obviously has to adapt to the base itself. So we do get access to both Inferno Towers, which I did say was important, and we froze the single target so that it couldn't fry the wall wrecker again. You need access through the base, especially to that multi. Once you've got access to that multi, get the rage there, get the heal there. Look at all of the damage. The bowlers were in the center of the base, so you need to just blast that area as quickly as possible. Now if you don't have access to a wall wrecker, which I appreciate not everyone does, one, I would try your best in order to get access to one, because it will boost your success rate massively. Your attacks will be harder, there's no two ways about it, guys. If you don't have that wrecker, it's going to be harder. You're going to have to basically find a way to get through that base a little bit easier. That could be with wall breakers and jump spells. And the next variation, the one using giants, is probably the better option for you if you do not have access to a wall wrecker, because it's a little bit user friendly in that regard. You've got a little bit more tankage from the giants, but notice again here how Prince Melvin basically swept through the base at either side but had that main pack coming through the middle. So let's move on to the other example, which uses the giants to help support your witches. Okay, so we have Toxic Joey initially getting it done here, and what a beast Joey is for Toxic Rabbits. You must have seen him on the channel a bunch of times. Again, for this first one, I'll kind of pause the attacks a little bit, but then moving forward, I'll just let the attacks play and we'll try and just pull it together for them ones. So for the giants and witches, or the Jai Wee Wee, or whatever you want to call this strategy, basically I would very rarely recommend coming in from the corner of a base as you've seen with the Frozen Witches. Basically, it's a lot harder to create your funnel. You've got to clear out both of these sections in order to get your troops in. It's so much easier to just come from a flat side straight through. So the first thing you can notice is a huge spread of giants. This is where I'm saying it might be a bit more user friendly for you, because these giants are going to basically protect your witches initially whilst they can spawn some skeletons and get going. Then look at the spread. You've basically got an even spread of giants. They're going to move forward in order to tank all of the defenses. Now look at this. If you did not have access to this wrecker, your giants have got all of these defenses tanked, every single one of them. So now you can sneak some wall breakers in order to bust maybe the first, maybe even the second compartment, and then you might have to commit a jump spell further on through the base. But that's where this strategy might be better for you. Giants, good spread. Witches, good good spread. Wizards in there as well, they do high damage, and look, they will lock onto the defenses and get them down that little bit quicker than the witches will, since the skeletons will basically have to shred them buildings first. The wizards are a lot quicker, and obviously you need your heroes deployed in the middle so that they can come into the base itself, and essentially you're creating that funnel naturally. So you've got the witches and wizards on the left and right creating the funnel for, again, that main pack to come into the base itself. You might actually want to delay deployment on the heroes depending on how many buildings are down in each corner here, because you need to ensure they get into the middle. But essentially, look at this. If I pause the video again, notice how we've moved from this area and everything is still in that straight line. That is your focus here. You want everything to just gradually sweep through the base as one smooth motion. That's what you're aiming for. And again, your wrecker will provide you access through the base and to both Inferno towers, so it doesn't change in that regard, but you're not taking as many freeze spells. So you can see how the wrecker gives us access to this multi-Inferno. There is no place where we could put the wrecker in that would give us access to both multi-Infernos. The design of the base is for that, and that's why you can see a jump spell which can be used up in this area to give us access to this top Inferno tower. But again, you need to use that when the time is right. We're actually going to ensure that this area is down. There's that rage and heal combination, and once we've got the bulk of that down, then we redirect the troops. You don't want to redirect them too early. So here we have the queen giant, only a couple of them going up to that top area, but it is enough. Again, pausing the video, we've got that smooth motion right the way through the base. That is what this strategy aims to get. If you want to take a freeze spell, you can, because you're going to need one poison for the clan castle troops. Your other single slot, if you will, you can use however seems appropriate for the base. A freeze spell is probably your best option for either the multi or the single to help the wrecker get through, however you find best fit. But notice that rage and heal combination that you've seen. You kind of want to do that as you're coming into the center of the base, and then near enough in the center of the base as well, so that you can really thin out the inside of the base. You will see examples of that in the next couple of attacks as well. Now try and hone in on that bit, because obviously we've shown how to sweep through the base on this attack, and that's clearly the difference between that frozen witch and the Jai Wee Wee, or the, you know, giants and witches, whatever you want to call it. Let's get on to another example. Another 6-pack. Toxic Joy this time, getting it done. Leave a like on the video for these guys. But again, look at how much more user-friendly this one is. Now, I don't want to play it off like it's, you know, you've got to have planning through the base, but more of the planning for this one is your access through the base, whereas for the Frozen Witch, your planning is really getting that funnel created and getting your spells placed right. For this one, your giants, your wizards, and your witches are getting that even spread across this side. Pretty simplistic in terms of your deployment of troops. Again, ensure that your heroes do go into the middle. There's, you know, no way that they're not going to if you deploy them in the middle and you've got this area thinned out, because that will naturally happen. Again, look at the wrecker. There is nowhere in this base, potentially here, but it would be a little bit trickier to funnel. Again, if you can come from a flat side, then ensure you do that. But we get all of the troops funneled to this multi-inferno first, and look at this long L compartment here. That's beautiful, because actually if we get the troops into there, they're naturally going to be drawn this way, and up we can actually use a jump spell here onto that multi-inferno, and that's exactly what Joey's going to do. So that rage and heal combination was used. Then again, as they come forward in the center of the base, bam, there's that the rage and heal combination again, when there's so much damage. It helps to boost them bowlers up and the witches themselves, alongside just giving them that raged boost. Just get the defenses down, and look at the base at this point. There's nothing now going to stop him. The giants are still alive, some of them. Don't know what that one was doing, but essentially you can take some healers for this combination, but you're more using the giants to tank for your witches than the healers, which was more prevalent in that frozen witch for the outside of the base. So again, very similar to at Town Hall 9, in fact, where you might use your golems on the outside instead of healers for that witch slap style technique. But moving to the end of the base, this is exactly what you want to see. As long as you've got enough troops left over, you will then gain that momentum, and make sure you try and save onto that queen's ability. You probably can, because being a ranged troop, she should be fairly tanked through the base. Save onto that ability until you need it. Let's show you one final example. On to the final one then, and again, if you want to learn this strategy in a little bit more depth, I will link the Frozen Witch video at the end of this one, so you can literally just click it and go right on across to it. But on to the last one, and again, massive shout out to Toxic Rabbits. I really appreciate the support in actually letting me do these recaps for them. I know I haven't been the most active within the clan in recent weeks and months, but the support is still there, and I absolutely love covering content for them. Again, for this last one, get access to them Inferno Towers. At Town Hall 10, that's the key defense, and it's going to be the main thing. The freeze onto the single there allows that Wrecker just that little bit further through, but there's that Rage Heal combination, getting access to both Infernos as they go down, and then the jump spell on this one, perhaps we weren't expecting the Wrecker to get this far, and the jump spell was going to be used here. The Rage and Heal again gets used in this thick area of defenses. Again, you want to use that combination when there's a lot of damage, but then as the Tesla farm pops here, boom, we can use the jump spell on the back end actually to just get access to that and take down the base even more effectively. And look at that, it really is just planning out how you're going to get to them Inferno Towers, how you're going to get access through the base, and the deployment of troops really doesn't deviate too much. Again, really do think about it that little bit more to the base though. These two buildings, purely to try and get you to run out of time, so just pop an archer onto each one of them. Really, it is worth it to do that, guys. I really hope that that video has helped you out in terms of the witches at Town Hall 10. If you have any tips, drop them below, and leave a like on other people's comments if you find it helpful. It helps the video out, and it helps people to find them comments easier. If you do want to see the video focusing in on the Frozen Witch, I'd highly recommend it. If you want to learn this strategy a bit more, click that video now and it will take you right to it. But that wraps it up for this one. Until next time, guys, peace out.